This episode of On the Record is brought to you by Weisler Engineering.
I'm Michaela Pochner, editor at Farm Equipment Magazine. I'm here in Osceola, Arkansas, part of the Conservation Technology Information Center's annual Conservation in Action Tour. Welcome to On the Record.
Ag Equipment Intelligence analyzed the North American Dealer Association's annual Dealer Manufacturer Relations Survey released earlier this month. In this annual NAIDA survey, dealers ranked their suppliers in 12 categories on a scale of 1 to 7, including overall satisfaction, product availability, product quality, product technical support, parts availability, parts quality, return privileges, communication with management, warranty procedures, warranty payments, marketing and advertising support, and response to dealer needs and concerns. The association's ranking of full-line manufacturers includes AGCO, Case IH, Claas, John Deere, Kubota US, Kubota Canada, and New Holland. NAIDA continues to evaluate Claas as a full-line manufacturer despite holes in most industry definitions of a full-line manufacturer. Meanwhile, NAIDA evaluates Kubota Canada separately from Kubota US. Overall, mainline manufacturers' average mean scores were slightly lower than 2023, meaning less satisfied mainline dealers. In the 2024 survey, Kubota Canada's operations continue to earn the highest marks of the survey in every category but product availability, a ranking held by Claas. Kubota Canada performed significantly higher than its U.S. counterpart, which generally performs in the middle of the 7 manufacturers examined. Outside of Kubota Canada, Claas had the highest scores in 8 of the 12 categories. The average mean scores by OEM are shown here. For the first time, Ag Equipment Intelligence editors conducted additional data analysis grouping the 12 individual categories into 3 larger headings of availability, quality, and administration. As seen here, Kubota Canada and Claas again came out on top. At the bottom of the analysis were the C&H brands. Case IH had the lowest quality composite score, while New Holland scored lowest in availability and administration's composite scores. New Holland had the lowest average mean score of 4.19 on a scale of 1 to 7. New Holland scored particularly low in this year's survey, finishing the lowest of all majors in every category except product quality, in which its brethren, Case IH, took the lowest position. This score is consistent with other recent surveys and comments shared with AEI. New Holland's score of 3.71 in the category of communication with management was the worst score by any OEM in any category. Next was Case IH's score of 3.7 out of 7 in product quality. The full report is available for sale through NAIDA, AEI's own evaluation and analysis of dealers' rankings of the suppliers in tractors, short lines, and outdoor power equipment will be available to subscribers in future editions of the AEI monthly newsletter. This week's dealer on the move is Martin Equipment. John Deere dealer Martin Equipment broke ground on a brand new facility in Cedar Rapids, Iowa on June 13th. Equipped with advanced technology and expanded service capabilities, the new Cedar Rapids facility will feature extensive parts inventory, a state-of-the-art service center, and a spacious showroom and customer reception area stocked with refreshments. Now here's Noah Newman with the latest from the Technology Corner.
Thank you very much, Kim. Precision ag startup Sentera launched an early access program to preview its aerial Weed Scout product, and the company says this program will not only provide valuable feedback for the product, but also build some momentum for its 2025 commercial release. Now, select input companies, equipment providers, retailers, and farmers will be able to test aerial Weed Scout through this program. It's a selective herbicide application service that aims to lower the total use of herbicides for farmers by up to 70%. It uses aerial imaging from a drone and artificial intelligence to detect weeds and ultimately create prescriptions within 24 hours that can be executed through any precision sprayer.
We're fortunate at Sentera. We've got a fantastic machine learning data science group, but we are also one of the largest producers of sensors. We actually design and build them in the United States, right here, multispectral sensors and very high resolution imagers. So what we're doing is we're capturing at more than 80 acres per hour of flight. We're capturing 1.5 millimeter imagery of that field. So every pixel is 1.5 millimeters. So to see a 6 millimeter weed, which is 1/4 inch, you got to have more than 1 pixel of green to see it. So this in itself is really phenomenal. We have a direct georeferencing technology that won't bore the audience with that here, but basically what it allows us to do is just dramatically increase the rate of coverage, where we can go and map a whole field, and on a hour by hour basis, we can stay ahead of that sprayer.
Now, Shane Thomas did an in-depth breakdown of the technology in his Upstream Ag Insights newsletter. He says Aerial Weed Scout will generate interest from customers because it addresses some of those shortcomings of other precision sprayers, like pricing, speed, and uncertainty of herbicide volumes needed. But it also might face an uphill battle because of the 24-hour delay between sensing and action. Check out this table Thomas put together comparing the other commercially available precision spraying products. And you'll see Sentera there in the middle checking the sense and diagnose boxes, but not the action boxes. Now, the Aerial Weed Scout Early Access Program will cover about 10,000 acres across states like Illinois, North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota in 2024. In the Technology Corner, I'm Noah Newman. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Noah. The number of dealers, particularly deer dealers, who have expanded their footprint non-contiguously is on the rise. On June 20th, Arizona-based Stotz Equipment and Ontario-based Premier Equipment announced the two firms were partnering to strengthen and position both companies for growth. The combined group will have 33 stores. Tom Rostozzi, president of Stotz Equipment, says Premier is consistently one of the top 5 deer dealers in Canada. The group currently has 4 owners, but one is looking to exit the business and another has health issues. Rostozzi says in order for Premier to grow, it was going to need help with ownership succession.
Ultimately, what they were looking for was a capital partner that could help them solve their ownership succession problems and then prepare them for the growth that they and Deere would like to see. So that would be their motivation. Stotz's motivation would be, we've been interested in growing in the John Deere business pretty much forever. And that's why we've already grown in the John Deere business. We've just been waiting for the right opportunity. And, I think the first choice for growth for anybody is to grow contiguously, but we just haven't had a chance to do that. And I think long-term in the John Deere world, it looks like anyway that the long-term players are probably going to have 2 footprints that are both, DOT-sized footprints in John Deere's eyes. And so this gives us the opportunity to create a second footprint, which we don't have today. Number one. And number two, I think the challenges of going so far away and the challenges of going to a different country are all significant challenges. And to be honest, a year ago, if you'd have asked me, I would have told you, no, we're not going to do that. I think the reason that we are doing it is because we've just found a significant amount of alignment between how we think about the business and how Premier thinks about the business.
Okay.
I think that in our minds, I think that helps us overcome the fears or challenges of the distance and the border. There's just so much alignment in how we think about the business that it'll make those. That's ultimately the biggest challenge in something like this is culture. And if the culture is already really, really well aligned, then I think the rest won't be that difficult to overcome.
The partnership marks an industry-first common ownership of Deere dealerships on both sides of the U.S. and Canadian border. The partnership is expected to be finalized in September 2024, pending all necessary approvals and due diligence. Currently, Stotz is number 24 on the Farm Equipment Dealer 100 list. The addition of the Premier stores will bump the new group up to number 10, tied with Site Instructor Nobi Partners, which also recently announced non-contiguous expansion with its acquisition of Cazenovia Equipment in New York. On June 18th, software company CDK Global was hit by a cyber attack, causing a system-wide outage that left dealers unable to access their business system and carry out day-to-day activities. While CDK Global Heavy Equipment merged with eMphasis Technologies in May 2023 and is now part of Vital Edge, dealers using IntelliDealer have been locked out. While the Vital Edge servers are separate from CDK servers, CDK Global restricted access to them as a safety precaution. On June 22nd, CDK Global announced it had initiated the restoration process, and by June 26th, systems were back up and running. Vital Edge Technology President and CEO says Vital Edge's application infrastructure and network were not impacted by the cyber attack. IntelliDealer mobile applications remained fully operational as they operate outside the CDK Global network, he says. While some dealers reported needing to revert to pen and paper work, orders, and invoices, Stotz Equipment's IT department maintains much of its data outside the Vital Edge system, as well as what goes into the business system.
We have a really awesome IT department. And so I think they've done a great job of, there's a lot of the data that we have in CDK, we already download into our own databases to use for our own purposes. And so there's actually a lot of our data that we have access to independent of CDK. And so they've done a great job of, building tools and making workarounds so that we can still function. So as an example, I think within the first 24 hours that we were down, they built a tool that gave our parts departments access to bin locations for all of our parts inventory. So, so our parts departments can actually, if they can figure out that the customer wants this particular part, they know where to go look for it in the warehouse, which without access to CDK, I'm guessing most dealerships would struggle with that.
Despite the tools Stotz was able to use during the outage, Rostozzi said it would still take time to get all the data gathered during the period into the IntelliDealer. This week's DataPoint is brought to you courtesy of the Dealership Mind Summit coming to Madison, Wisconsin, August 6th and 7th. According to Ag Equipment Intelligence's latest brand loyalty survey, 62.3% of farmers consider themselves brand loyal. When it comes to buying a piece of equipment not manufactured by their primary brand, tillage tools have been the most common piece of equipment farmers bought that wasn't their primary brand. The full brand loyalty report will be released in July. As always, we welcome your feedback. You can send comments and story suggestions to kschmidt@lestermedia.com. Until next time, I'm Kim Schmidt. Thanks for joining us.